Susan Rice just publicly shredded Trump for his hypocritical attack on Obama's policies. Add former Obama National Security Advisor Susan Rice to the growing list of people deeply disturbed by President Trump's behavior on the international stage at the G7 summit meeting in Quebec this week. Rice appeared on CBS's Face the Nation this morning and ridiculed the president for suggesting that Russia be allowed to rejoin the group of leading industrial nations after having been expelled for its annexation of Crimea for the Ukraine in 2014. The former National Security Advisor called the proposed move disgraceful. For the President of the United States to suggest all is forgotten, that doesn't matter, that we are fine with one country annexing another country's sovereign territory and we should just welcome them with open arms into a community of democracies is outrageous, she said. Not to mention, of course, that this is the same country that our own intelligence agencies have determined interfered in our electoral process in the 2016 presidential election through a systematic campaign of election roll hacking, stolen emails, and disinformation spread through social media. The country that former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper says swung the election in favor of Donald Trump. Trump, of course, blamed his predecessor President Obama for the Russian invasion and annexation of Crimea that got them booted from the then G8. You'll have to ask Obama, because he was the one that let Crimea get away, Trump said yesterday during the G7 summit. He allowed Russia to take Crimea. I may have had a much different attitude. It's hard to know what attitude Trump could have taken with his nose so far up the Russian leader's posterior, but Trump's continued defense of Russia while he purposefully alienates our closest allies suggests that the rumors of a Kremlin stash of highly compromising information on the president, i.e., the P-tape, among whatever other disturbing evidence of financial malfeasance they may have, may be more real than anyone cares to admit. Rice had this reaction to Trump's statement: "It's a disgraceful statement. The fact of the matter is Russia had invaded Georgia. It then invaded Ukraine. We rallied the entire European Union and many other partners to impose tough sanctions on Russia for its annexation. We supported the Ukrainian government to build up its defensive military capacity, and along with our G7 partners we agreed that Russia should no longer be part of this community, of the G8. She concluded her analysis of the unprecedented reversal of U.S. foreign policy under Trump with a warning about the consequences of the president's irrational actions. The United States, our leadership in the world, our national security, has long depended on having close and unbreakable bonds with our closest allies. The G7 partners are our closest allies in the world. We share values, we share interests, we share security. And for the President of the United States to walk into that session and to essentially blow it up and disrespect our allies while embracing Russia, and giving benefits to China, countries that are not our allies, and in the case of Russia, indeed our declared adversary, is very worrisome and very destructive, and it leaves the United States isolated in the world and our allies wondering if they can count on us and we are on them. Rice's worry and outrage is a seemingly universal response to the childish and self-serving behavior of President Trump from everyone who isn't a brain-dead acolyte of the incoherent Trump agenda or a direct beneficiary of the administration's corrupt policies. Impeachment can't come a moment too soon. Please, Mr. Mueller, work as quickly as you can.